Okay, this is on how to use Gimp, which is a free graphical editing software that you can download off the net, to take away this white space on PowerPoints so that instead of when you insert an image in your PowerPoint, instead of getting that big white space around it, you basically get a see-through image like this, and it's more prevalent on a picture that you can only crop down so far so that you can get it like this so that it inserts better into your picture. So that's what this is on, and so we're going to use the Gimp, and this is using Gimp 2.8, which is the most current version out there for free right now on the net. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the Gimp, and it's called Gimp 2, and you're going to go ahead and add your picture. Okay, so that, just so you know, the first time Gimp opens, it's a little slow. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop and open up that picture that we were just looking at, which is a JPEG image. Now, when I look at this picture, I can see that there's a lot of white space around the outside of it. Now, I could crop this down much more than I have it now. In fact, I could do that first by simply going to the selection tool here on the top right and selecting an area that's closer to the image in the first place, and then going to Image, Crop to Selection. So now I've got a slightly smaller picture in the first place than I had before. Now I'm going to go back to Select None so that I'm working in my picture here. Now, what I want to do is turn all this white here. I'm going to pick my paint tool. I'm going to turn all this white here into a transparency. So to do that, first of all, we've opened up Gimp, and then we're going to add what's called an alpha channel, which is the transparent channel in GIF, or in Gimp. So to do that, I'm going to go to Layer, Transparency, and Add Alpha Channel. Now, if you ever go to Layer, Transparency, Add Alpha Channel, it's already grayed out. It means there's already one there, so you're good. So the first thing I want to do is add that transparent layer there called an alpha channel. Then I'm going to select the paint bucket, and I'm going to select a color that is not used and paint the area of the photo that color. So what does that mean? So I need to find a color that's not used here, so I've selected the paint bucket, and this button right here lets me select the color. So where it's black right now, I'm going to click on there, and I want a color that is not in here. I can go here to pick my main primary colors, and I don't see this green in there anywhere. So I'm going to use that one and say OK. So now I've got this color. So I've got the paint bucket selected, I've got a color selected that is not in my photo, and I'm going to click the white outside there. Now, basically what I'm doing is I'm painting in, and I'm going to delete everything that's that color. Now, when I did that, you may have seen over here there's an area that turned green that's inside my photo. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to zoom in really far, and I'm going to scroll over here, and I'm going to go up to find that area. And you can see it right here. There's a bunch of spots that are green that really don't belong green. So I'm going to switch back to white here by hitting this flip back, because I just painted in white. I'm going to pick my pencil, and I'm going to pick a really small pencil. So I'm going to pick this little dot right there, which now, so I've got my pencil, and I'm going to pick my dot. Oh, and I was at a size 20 here, and I want to change this down to a size of 1 to make it just one dot that I'm getting here. And then I can take with this dot tool, and I can actually close in this, and let me close in both sides, and I can either do it by hand like that, or I can go back to my paintbrush or my paint bucket and just fill in that where it was white that I wanted. I always use the pencil, not the paintbrush, when I'm doing this, because the paintbrush doesn't fill in with solid colors. So if I close this off and go back to my paint bucket, I can go and turn that back in there. Again, I use the pencil to enclose that color, I'm going to do the same thing while I'm on the pencil here and here. And then I can go to my paint bucket and I can fill in all those green spots that I got. And that was because this picture didn't actually enclose those areas. It just went white all the way up to the edge there. And if I look, I've got a couple more here. It would just look a little silly if you could see through the picture there. And again with my paintbrush. So I've got all the greens pretty much filled in. Did I get everywhere that I really wanted? I got a couple greens left here. Okay, so in this picture, not all pictures do this. Some of them are better out to the edges and have better lines. So I'm going to go back out. Now you can see that I've got everything around the outside colored in. So I've gone and I've selected the paint bucket. I've selected the color that is not used in that green. I've painted outside the photo. And now I'm going to do what's called select by color and delete that color. So I'm going to go select by color. Now wherever I click, that color is going to be selected. So I click there and you can see it all highlighted, and I'm just going to hit the delete key. And now everywhere that I see that checkerboard pattern is now going to be see-through on this photo. So I'm almost done. The last thing I'm going to do is export it as a PNG file, which means I go File, Export, there we go, I'm looking for the word export, and I change it to a .png instead, and then I say export, and it says it already exists because I've already done this once. So, and then it's going to ask me if I want to go ahead and export, and I say OK. And now if I take this picture, and I'm going to go ahead and close it, so I'm going to hit close all. If I take this picture and put it in my PowerPoint, there's the one that we were using before, and now I'm going to insert this picture that I've just done back in there. The difference between this picture and this picture is that I can see through, and if I go to the PowerPoint, you can see I can see through all the way around, and no matter where I put this in next to my text, it looks much cleaner in my PowerPoint than having this big white block around that there. Now I could have, in the PowerPoint, gone and cropped this image down much closer, which would have made it a lot better. And this is a student's image that they used, and they did not crop it in. But even if you crop it in close, because you don't want to crop it in and take out some of the picture. Even if I crop it in close, it still doesn't look as good as the one where I've taken out everything. It just looks a lot more professional. So we're going to do that one more time with this photo, just to make sure you've got the process down. So again, I'm going to open Gimp, add the alpha channel, select the paint bucket, select the color that is not used, paint the spot that I want to disappear, delete the color, and export it. So let's go through those steps again. So I'm going to File, and then I'm going to open up that other picture. There we go. I'm going to open up this picture instead. And so number one, layer, transparency, add alpha channel. Number two, I pick a color that's not in use in my photo, and I know this green isn't in use, and all I have to do is click on it and pick whatever color. I could just as easily use that yellow. Then I'm going, once I've got a color, I paint bucket, and I bucket in the areas that I want to get rid of. Now in this case, I want to get rid of this too, so I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil, but I'm going to use a really big pencil this time. In fact, there we go. And I'm just going to color this out as well, so that I've got nothing in there. So I've got the color all the way around there. So I've gone and I've opened Gimp, add my alpha channel, selected the paint bucket, select a color that wasn't used, painted and edited, and I should have put that in there. Then I'm going to select by color and delete it. So I'm going to go select by color, I click on the color and I hit the delete key, and now you can see everywhere that it just happened to. And then I'm going to export it as a PNG file. So File, Export, I'm just going to save the name to PNG there at the end, which it already just went to. I'm going to hit export again. I've already done it. I'm going to go ahead and replace it and then hit export again. And now I'm going to use this file in my PowerPoint. So if I go back to that PowerPoint and insert the picture that I've just edited in there instead, you can see now how much cleaner this picture is than this one when I'm doing it inside my PowerPoint. And the picture itself has not changed at all because I've just edited around the outside, and wherever I put that, I can surround it with more text. It looks much cleaner. It's a better way to put graphics into your PowerPoint presentation or any kind of presentation you're doing. Gimp makes it very easy to clean up the outside of photos that you use in your presentations here at school.